Hello, I'm Rob and I'm one of the clergy team here in Portishead. In our thought for the day last week, Laura was talking about St Swithin, whose feast day it was last Thursday. And when we gathered for coffee over Zoom on Thursday morning, she asked the question, who's your favourite saint? Well, right at the top of my list is the saint whose feast day it is on Thursday the 22nd, which may well be the day that you're watching this, and that's Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene has quite a few references in the Gospels, and our reading today is just one of those. It comes from John chapter 20, verses 1 to 2, and then 11 to 18. Early on the first day of the week, while it was still dark, Mary Magdalene came to the tomb and saw that the stone had been removed from the tomb. So she ran and went to Simon Peter and the other disciple, the one whom Jesus loved, and said to them, "They have taken the Lord out of the tomb, and we do not know where they have laid him." Later, Mary stood weeping outside the tomb. As she wept, she bent over to look into the tomb, and she saw two angels in white sitting where the body of Jesus had been lying, one at the head and the other at the feet. They said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping?" She said to them, "They've taken away my Lord, and I do not know where they have laid him." When she had said this, she turned round and saw Jesus standing there. But she did not know that it was Jesus. Jesus said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping? For whom are you looking?" Supposing him to be the gardener, she said to him, "Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you have laid him, and I will take him away." Jesus said to her, "Mary." She turned and said to him in Hebrew, "Rabboni," which means teacher. Jesus said to her, "Do not hold on to me, because I have not yet ascended to the Father. But go to my brothers and say to them, I am ascending to my Father and to your Father, to my God and to your God." Mary Magdalene went and announced to the disciples, "I have seen the Lord." And she told them that he had said these things to her. Mary Magdalene is something of a saint with a reputation. One of the refreshing things about the Gospels is how many women are referred to within the pages of our four Gospels. And it's a remarkable number. But it seems that earlier ages have at times felt a little uncomfortable with that. And so they have conflated some of those women referred to, and many of them, a few of them, have been identified with Mary Magdalene. For a start, there's Mary of Bethany, Mary, sister of Martha and Lazarus. You can understand that. They had the name in common. And then there's the woman who's identified as a sinful woman who anointed Jesus' feet with perfume. And then there's the woman caught in adultery in John chapter 8. And then if you've seen the Da Vinci Code or the Last Temptation of Christ, you'll know that within popular culture there's been a desire to identify Mary Magdalene as Jesus' love interest, and perhaps even the mother of his child. Well, none of those are things that we know about Mary Magdalene. What we do know from the pages of the Gospels are that she had 7 demons cast out of her by Jesus, that she was one of a small group of women who used to travel around with Jesus and supported him out of their wealth, out of their means. We know that she was present at the foot of the cross, and we know that she was a witness to the resurrection, as we've just heard, and that Jesus sent her to go and tell the other disciples, that he was risen from the dead. And because of that, she's been known as the apostle to the apostles. Apostle literally means one who is sent. Now, as an aside, in the culture in which Jesus lived and of course died, a woman's evidence was not acceptable in a court of law. And so it is an amazing thing that the first witness to the resurrection that Jesus chose was a woman. I find that a very reassuring thing, both in terms of what Jesus thought about women, but also just the way in which he was prepared to subvert the norms of the time in which he lived. For Mary to announce the resurrection was incredible. So, where does that leave us? Well, very briefly, Mary was a woman who had been broken, and yet Jesus restored her. And there she is, right at the heart of the Gospels, where she is referred to more often than most of Jesus's male disciples. Mary is a really good example to us, a strong woman. And we're also reminded that there is, in the pages of the Gospels, no justification for women to be considered as anyway second-class citizens, either in the church or in wider society. So, with me, I hope you will say, praise the Lord for Mary Magdalene.